Thank you, Judge. So Al-Saham is one of our new board members. Oh, she's Josh.
Pardon?
Is she? She's our new board member.
Yes. Yep.
Welcome to the board.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Our next agenda will be approval of agenda and minutes for our meetings, January 20, 2021.
And I would like to just note a couple of changes. I was notified by law enforcement that they, unfortunately, at the last minute, aren't going to be able to have somebody here. So we won't have somebody for the law enforcement update. And then as well, I emailed and have provided a copy of an additional agenda item we'd like to add to discuss a proclamation for Black History Month.
Yes. Thank you, Josh. So agenda number 3, approval of agenda and minutes for January, meeting for January 20, 2021.
I'll make a motion that they're approved with the amendment that Josh just stated.
I'll second. Deb White.
Michael make approve and Deb second. Josh, you want to make a call for this?
Yes. Connie Auden?
Yes.
Deb White?
Yes.
Shinwar Mai?
Yes.
Mikhail Pauline Normandan?
Yes.
Aline Cohen Pearson?
Yes.
Sahama Mari?
Yes.
And Jen Traska. Can you hear us, Jennifer?
She's still trying.
You're muted, I can see.
Thank you. Agenda number 4, citizens to be heard. Do we have anyone? Hearing none. Agenda number 5 is we have a guest speaker, Opir Glad, out from Minnesota.
Fur is not here for the meeting right now, has not yet joined. And maybe we wait on that, see if Fur joins later.
Okay, we'll do that. And agenda number 6, like Josh said, we don't have anyone. It should be a law enforcement update. We are going to move agenda number 7, which will be land acknowledgement discussion.
Oh, it looks like Ophir has joined us now.
Yep, we can give him his spot.
Ophir, can you hear us?
Yes, now I can. Hi, everyone.
Hello, the floor is yours.
Oh, wow, great. I'm starting everything off. Okay, hi, everyone. I am so sorry I'm a few minutes late. For some reason, WebEx thought I needed to re-download the entire platform right before the meeting, even though I did it just a few days ago. So hello, everyone. My name is Ophir. I use they and she pronouns, and I work at Outfront, Minnesota. And it is so nice to be here today. I just have a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you all about. On behalf of Outfront, so I'm curious if any of you have heard of Outfront Minnesota before. I have some nods. Okay, cool. And some no's. Awesome. So Outfront Minnesota is the largest LGBTQ plus advocacy organization in the state of Minnesota. It was founded in 1987, actually as a crisis helpline for people who are experiencing violence. And that program actually still runs within our anti-violence program today. We also have an organizing and policy program, and then we have an educational equity program, and that's where I come in. So my job essentially is to try to ensure that LGBTQ plus youth have all the resources that they need in order to feel safe and be successful in however they define that success within the education system. And so there are a couple of things. Initially, when Joshua and I got connected, I was talking and thinking about a project that I'm working on with some LGBTQ plus youth from throughout the state. But now things have kind of shifted, and and time has moved on. And so there's kind of two main things I wanted to talk to you all about today. And I'm not entirely sure what the Human Rights Commission's work has looked like. So I apologize if this is already something that you have been working on in the past, if this is something that you're currently focused on, and I'm just saying it again. But I just wanted to bring a couple of things to the table today to just also get to know you all and introduce myself and maybe see if there's some ways for us to be able to partner as Outfront and this commission in the future. So the first is about gender inclusion policies. The work that I've been doing with these teens that I was talking about is focused on gender inclusion policies. And really what a gender inclusion policy is, if that's a term that's unfamiliar to you, is it is a policy that articulates a district's planned approach to accommodating the needs of transgender and gender nonconforming students. And it's a policy that has been passed in a couple of school districts now. And this is something that I think is really important for us to be thinking about, that we maybe want to incorporate into a lot of different school districts in the state. And I want to give you a whole bunch of data right now, but I can't because actually the students who I've been working with are in the process of analyzing their data. And what I've been doing is working with a group of 6 of them who have looked at 4 different school districts, conducted surveys and conducted interviews with trans and gender nonconforming youth and allies about their experiences in school if they do have a gender inclusion policy versus if they don't. And they're analyzing that data in order to actually just be able to talk and lift up the voices of these students to see what these policies might be able to do. Apart from the research that they're doing, there's a lot of other research that supports this. Something I'm just going to put in the chat, and I'm not really sure how many of you are looking at it on this web platform, but Outfront has a little page about gender inclusion policies, and it also specifically highlights a policy that's currently in St. Paul that's working really well right now. And I'm not sure if this is something that you all have started thinking about, but if students and educators in Moorhead are passionate about this, I just wanted to offer myself up as a resource. And if this commission is just feeling motivated to get involved in this kind of work, I would really love to build that kind of partnership with you all to see how we can talk to maybe get a gender inclusion policy in Moorhead, because this is a way for us to really articulate the needs of gender nonconforming and transgender students in a way that can make them feel really included in school. And not just included, the policy really gives a kind of guideline for educators to be able to streamline the process to make inclusivity be something that's really embedded into the program itself. The school itself. And it also, this web page that I just linked also has information there about the Trans Toolkit that was created by the Minnesota Department of Education a few years ago. You may be familiar with it, but it's just another guiding tool that can be helpful with these policies. And the second thing I wanted to talk to you all today about, just on behalf of Outfront, is about conversion therapy. If you're familiar at all with Outfront, you might know that this is a campaign that we've been working on for a really long time. And conversion therapy is, to be frank, just totally legal in most of Minnesota, and it happens primarily to youth and to vulnerable adults. The suicide rates of people who experience conversion therapy are almost double of what LGBTQ plus people experience in terms of suicidal rates who haven't had it. So that's double the number, which is a huge statistic. And it's happening a lot more in coronavirus times because so many youth are at home with unsupportive families and really can be stuck. And that can be an area where then it is really kind of easy to have more exposure to conversion therapy. So we actually just launched a campaign called Right to Be, and it's on our website. It'll have a big pop-up, and if you haven't signed our petition, it would be great if you would. But something else that we've been doing is we've been really working on a citywide level to try to ban conversion therapy, because to be fully honest, we are not fully optimistic that it will be banned on a statewide level this year. And so I wanted to bring it up that if that's something that you're interested in trying to fight for in your city, We have an amazing organizer who, her name is Angela, who's been doing a lot of this kind of work. Out front has had a presence in a single city that's banned it so far, just trying to help support you all in whatever ways people need. Most recently, Robbinsdale just banned it. And so I just wanted to offer myself up and Angela up in that way to just kind of let you all know that those are the two big things we're working on, and that I know we haven't actually had a really large presence in Moorhead. And I think that that's because there's been a lot of kind of Twin City centric work, and I really want to get rid of that. And I really want to be able to connect with you all. And I've connected with a bunch of different both students, principals, teachers in Moorhead, and I really wanted to connect with you all as well. And so, yeah, I'd like to just, I know I've been talking for a little bit longer than what I said I would, but thank you all so much. And I'm also here for any questions, and I'll put my email in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great work that you are doing. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, Josh, but because I don't have the little chat thing, can you get her information and send that out to us?
Yeah.
Since I don't have it on my phone?
And Deb's got her hand up.
Okay.
Deb, you want to go ahead?
Thanks. Thank you, Ophir. I really appreciate you coming. I had two questions. One, in regard to the gender inclusion policies, have you spoken with anyone in the Moorhead Public School District? And I know they have a new director of equity and inclusion, and that might be the person to reach out to as well.
Yeah, Mr. Matur and I spoke at length, and I also connected with the principal at the high school, and we also conducted some interviews there with students and connected with some counselors. So yeah, that was a really incredible experience, and that's also part of why I wanted to speak with you all, because your students' voices have been heard, some of them at least, who wanted to participate, and that will be part of the data analysis process that the youth that I'm working with are kind of analyzing. So they will have, I think we had around 10 students from Moorhead participate.
Great. And my other question, because I'm actually our liaison, I'm on city council, and so I'm the city council liaison to HRC. And when you were talking about the citywide ordinance, on ban on conversion therapy, I'm assuming do you have some model legislation that you could pass along, or even just showing us what Robbinsdale has done, or that would be helpful?
Yes, I would be really happy to send that your way in an email. I don't have it with me right now. Also, to be fully transparent, my work is primarily focused on gender inclusion policy work and working with youth, but I have the person and the materials to be able to get that to you within the next few hours or day.
Great. And another thing I know, I'll just point out, if they're following it, because we're a border community, so a lot of times, even though, we're on the Minnesota side, but we keep an eye on what's happening on the North Dakota side too. And of course, they're just looking at some legislation regarding student athletics, and that would be harmful to trans youth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we actually just heard that in committee in Minnesota as well last week or the week before. And so, yeah, this is something that is being talked about in the surrounding states and in our state. And I guess my question for the communities in Minnesota is, what can we do to try to ensure that student safety as much as we can and as locally as we can, because local communities are really the ones who know these students. And so that is also my job, is just to be able to provide support to any educators, adults, community members who want to be able to provide that support and not really sure where to start. So I truly am here as a resource and would love to talk to anyone more about this privately as well.
Great. I'll put my email in the chat for you too.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Eileen Cohen-Pearson has her hand up.
You want to go ahead, Elaine?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your information. I belong to a group in the Fargo-Moorhead area called the Area Preschool Advocacy Group. And this just recently came up. Some of the directors, which we are all part of, were asking, as far as families that have children that might be transgender, other family members, even staff. Would you be someone I could reach out to and help us? And it gets a little tricky because some of these places are in churches. So that's where some people were kind of tiptoeing around, not really wanting to ask. But
Yeah. Please reach out to me, and if I don't know the answers, I can refer you to someone who does. We also have a faith organizer, and so maybe she and I could tag team this. Like, I would absolutely love to talk with you and the people that you work with about it. Truly would love to be able to support in any ways that I can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Deb, do you still have your hand up? Oh, no more.
That was the old one, yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all these good things and coming out.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really great, and I look forward to connecting with a lot of you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our next agenda, agenda number 7, land acknowledgement discussion.
In your packet, I did provide a couple of semi-local samples for you guys to look at for your discussion.
Any further discussions for,
Deb has her hand up.
Deb, you want to go ahead?
I would like us to have something, and maybe we need to have like a subcommittee that could work on language. But to me, if it's something we're going to read, when I looked at the different ones, obviously, unless we want to spend half of our meeting reading, we don't want some of the longer ones as the one we read. But modeling it after a concise one, I can't remember if it was a UND or NDSCS. One of them was, just a short paragraph. That could be something that we read at the beginning of the meeting, and then we might have a lengthier statement if we wanted to on our webpage or something. But just to have something short, I think would be a good step.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. I think it might be a good idea if there were a few commissioners that were interested in looking at it together, maybe doing some research and looking at putting some language together.
I agree with that.
I agree too. I guess this information kind of floored me because I was thinking because I think it was Heather that brought it up. It was more like a little statement you make at the beginning, kind of like an opening ceremony when I went to the Indigenous Peoples Day over at NDSU. They had kind of a little statement that they said, and that's what I was kind of imagining. And then I saw this and I'm like, whoa, did I not comprehend what was being talked about?
The NDSCS one is 2 sentences, so that one of the examples is quite brief. I just thought, you could take a look at some of the ones locally.
Yep, okay. And yes, I saw that one. I thought, but the other one was like, holy, I don't know if that's what we were thinking, but.
Any further discussion? So you're gonna add this for our next agenda?
Well, do we want to decide who wants to work on this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Deb shaking her head,
Deb's shaking her head.
nodding her head.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think we should try to get some volunteers. Unfortunately, for work reasons, I can't be one of them right now. So I was shaking my head to say you should get some volunteers, but I was not volunteering at this time.
I can be one of the people.
And how many people we need? That's right. Two is enough? I will be the second person then. Yes.
We lose Shinwar?
No,
Tingwar, can you hear us?
No, I'm still here.
He's excited.
I, for the record, I usually don't get to sit down and just listen very often at work. I'm usually the one that talks, so I'm just sitting back and listening.
Okay, so it's so we're gonna move our next agenda.
Okay.
Okay, our next agenda will be agenda number 8, election officer. Today we're gonna elect our next chairperson and vice chair.
Yes, yep, we need a chair and a vice chair. So I would suggest somebody nominate, you guys can discuss, and then make a motion and vote on it.
Can we get someone nominate, or I'm going to?
I'd like to nominate Deb.
I don't know that I can do that, actually. Shinwar, thank you, Shinwar. I think since I'm the council liaison, I don't know if would be allowed anyway, but probably not a good idea.
Shucks. You're very welcome.
So Josh, what do you think? If she's a liaison from the other side, she can be our chair, or you know this more about?
I'm not sure, I would lean on Deb's understanding here, so I think one of the other 6 would be a good idea.
I actually think she might be right, because I remember Sarah mentioning something like that. It was a while back.
We tried to have Sarah do it, and she,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for confirming that.
Mikhail, do you want to try to nominate someone?
Well, I nominate you for being chair. You do a great job.
I was actually going to second that. I think you've done a great job, and I have no problem with you doing it a second year if you're interested.
Actually, I am very proud to be your chair, and it was one of our greatest honor to be the chair of this committee. But I came from Africa, Somalia, and my childhood, I was seeing, people being leader for 40 years old, and 30, 20 on one place. So I enjoy changing leaders, and giving position to someone to another. So I want to practice this, and I really like to be the chairman, but I want someone else to be this position to see next coming year and trying to change. And this is something I like to. So, but thank you so much, Ingwar. This is so good.
So are you sure that you're saying you would not accept the nomination?
I will accept. But what I'm
Good.
saying is I am enjoying to see this going around, and everyone is seeing, and we are going to listen to everyone and give the opportunity to every one of us.
Well, I think that's important as a chair. I think that's a great quality to have. I appreciate you being open to others taking over as chair, but I commend you on having that quality, and that's why I think having another go at it for another year is a good idea. I support that if everybody else does. Joshua, I don't know if what process we went about last year at this time, but if we have to vote on it today or wait until next month.
No, we vote today.
We vote today, okay. So do we want to nominate somebody for vice chair first before we start voting?
Well, I would suggest we wrap up this chair. We had Mikhail first,
Okay.
we had Shinwar seconded. If there's more discussion on that, maybe you just want to vote on the chair right now, unless there's more discussion.
Is there more discussion?
Okay.
Hearing none.
No. Okay.
Do you want to
The call?
make a call?
Okay. Deb White?
Yes,
Shinwar, Moorhead?
enthusiastically.
Shinwar?
Yes.
Mikhail Pauline Normandan?
Yes.
Eileen Cohen Pearson?
Yes.
Sahama Madi?
Yes.
Jen Troska?
Yes.
Connie Odden?
Yes.
All right. Vice Chair, Suggestions, volunteers, nominations?
I'd like to nominate Mikkel.
I am going to second that.
Mikkel, I'm gonna recommend. Yeah, I'm 30ing it. If that's, I didn't know if that was a word or not, but you know, I know you, and I think you'd be great for the role. I'm not sure if you'd accept, but still, I would third it.
Sure.
This will make me relieve and not to think a lot. I mean, working with her.
Are you saying I'm bossy?
No, you're good, Mikkel.
Any further
You did
discussion?
great last time too.
Yeah, I remember last time when she was the chair, she have everything that, you know, it have 7 months papers, the agenda that we have back to see after 8 months, after 1 year, everything she have, you know.
Yeah, no, her work experience definitely comes handy. She's very organized.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Josh?
Connie Otten?
Yes.
Deb White?
Yes.
Shinwar Mai?
Yes.
Mikhail Pauline Narandon?
Yes.
Eileen Cohen Pearson?
Yes.
Sahama Madi?
Yes.
Jennifer Troska?
Yes.
Officially now. All right, our next agenda number 9, annual report, review and approval.
Yes, in your packet, you will see the annual report that was put together. This is just kind of a procedural item that every year is put together and submitted to the city commission. It's there for your review. If you have any updates, any changes you want need made, you can let me know. Otherwise, it's just a vote to approve.
You will be able to have a look for any further discussions, any questions.
I read it. I thought it looked good. I didn't find any typos or anything.
I second that.
I didn't either. Just thought I'd point that out.
Yep. Josh, you want to make a call?
Sure. Connie Otten?
You need a
Yes.
motion to approve?
Yep, I think
Yes.
we do.
Can we get a motion to approve? That's right.
I move to approve. Deb White.
I second.
The White approved. Mikhail second. Josh?
Connie Otten?
Yes.
Deb White?
Yes.
Shinwar Mai?
Yes.
Mikhail Pauline Normandin?
Yes.
Eileen Cohen Pearson?
Yes.
Sahama Madi?
Yes.
Jennifer Troska?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda number 10, reports, announcement, upcoming events.
Maybe now would be an okay time for me to address. Shortly before the meeting, I emailed a proclamation for Black History Month, and I've handed it out to those that are here in person. This was kind of a late addition. We had a citizen of Moorhead approach the city and request that a proclamation be made to honor February's Black History Month. And so we put this proclamation together, and we're hoping, we thought, you know, the Human Rights Commission was the ideal place to introduce it. And if you see fit to pass approval to send it to the city council meeting on Monday night, where the mayor would sign it and make the proclamation at the meeting.
Yes. Any further discussion?
Deb has her hand up.
Deb, go ahead, please.
It was actually up before then, but I will support it. I was just trying to find the exact language of it, but I would move to support the proclamation.
Deb moved.
I'll second it.
Mikhail second. Josh?
Connie Otten?
Yes.
Deb White?
Yes.
Shinwar Mai?
Yes.
Mikhail Pauline Normandin?
Yes.
Eileen Cohen Pearson?
Yes.
Sahama Madi,
Yes.
Jennifer Troska.
Yes.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And another note, if there is somebody who's willing to be part of that brief presentation next Monday night, we would take somebody.
Now I have someone.
What time on Monday?
The city council meeting is at 5:30, Deb?
Yep, and you can do it virtually.
Yep, and the presentation would be early in the agenda. It'd be one of the first items after the roll call and such.
Yeah, 5:30. Is the city council
You gonna do
meetings
it?
here?
Yes, they are here, yep. But they're also virtually, so if you'd prefer, you could join from home for that as well.
Yeah.
In fact, Josh, are we currently not allowing, well, I know we don't allow the public to come in yet to attend our meetings. I'm not sure if it was somebody who's speaking from a commission, that might be different, but.
I think it might be different if it's from commission, I'm not sure, but you're
'Cause
right.
we do have
we're not-
other, yeah, we'll have like staff that come in, but.
Right. But you want to,
Say something?
For sure, I believe.
something out, yes.
I believe, yes. We can go together if we want.
You could potentially read it, you know, you could be introduced, you could read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
Okay. And then you'll send me a link? If they're not letting people in, then.
Yeah, well, should we set it up virtually?
Yeah, let's set it up virtually. I don't want to get here and then be rejected.
Okay.
That hurts.
Any other announcement, upcoming events, reports? Yes, Deb.
So I have, let me pull it up here. I have an announcement. There's going to be an interfaith panel on being queer during the pandemic. And it is on Sunday, February 28th, 2 to 3:30. It's a virtual event, and it's being hosted by the FM Interfaith Center, Concordia College Forum on Faith and Life, and St. Mark's Lutheran Church in Fargo. So just, if anyone needs information about that, I'd be happy to pass it along. And actually, our city manager, Dan Molly, his mom is one of the people that's organizing it. So it's a great event.
Any other announcement, upcoming reports?
I have to do some research. I feel like we're without Heather here. We don't have her.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ask my friend to come back.
We could have her send us and we could just read her reports maybe.
Or we could have her be a visitor.
Not,
You know,
not every meeting.
Give us
Yeah,
an
sure.
update for that.
Give her an update, yep.
So since it's Black History Month, I have a small story to share with you guys, or a small thing. But yeah, my mother always told me the best thing to do is invest in human being or investing in other people, because my mother invested me. And it's really such a great thing to do. I was inspired by her because this is a great legacy of investing, and not because you need something from that person, but because you want to make this world a better place to be, or because you're doing this out of love of God, of Allah, or love of humanity. And also, you are teaching others or other people to look after one another, to lift up, to empower. Doing all this is not about money. It's about welcoming them, opening your doors for them, advocating them, inviting them, or for coffee, dinner, lunch, showing them that they are valued, they are part of us, listening them. Today, thousands of us are lacking someone to listen for them, talking about their problems, someone that they trust to share their stories, for their concerns, like how they can go through this hard time. For all of us, sometimes what inspires me is just active listening is very beautiful. Keeping their secrets, Sometimes I don't understand the silence of the world, the silence of our community. To all of you, did you guys ask yourself, including mine, what makes other people comfortable enough? What makes your neighbor comfortable enough? But I realize that sometimes it's our heart. It's my heart that's so sick. Sometimes it's full of selfishness, greed. We are so afraid of what the other people think about us, but it's so sad. Today, as Moorhead Human Rights Chair, and on behalf of my board, I would like to call an action to be brave, to save the trust, to speak the trust, to help one another, empower, love one another, to do or to not do, watch this world suffer, watch this beautiful community of us suffer. I came from a place where not a lot of things to do, where I have no choice which school that I will go, no options, what I would like to do in the future. I know how it feels, I really do. That's why I'm calling to speak up, to defend you and me. Feel them. For this hard time, we have the power to make it change, to help one another. It doesn't matter who they are, their background, their religion. It doesn't work that way. I am calling for unity as one Moorhead community. And thank you, everyone. Our next agenda, agenda number 11, new business.
Deb has her hand up.
Deb, go ahead, please.
Thanks, sorry. I'm sorry to monopolize the meeting too. First of all, I just want to say, Connie, that was really beautiful, and thank you so much, and makes me, again, so proud that you are the chair of our commission. I wanted to just circle back to discussions that we had a while ago about possibly having a retreat and about having some subcommittees so that we could work on some specific issues or programs and bring in other people that might be involved with that. So I was actually wondering if maybe, because this is something that the city manager and our recently our former city mayor Judd and I had talked about doing things like having a committee to work on Indigenous Peoples Day, to work on Juneteenth, but also to look at, some other things that we might be able to draw in more people. So I wonder if the best thing would be, I could share information. Maybe if I had a meeting with our chair and vice chair, maybe that would be the best starting point, and then we could bring it back to the larger, to the commission. But I know, we have in the information that Josh sent this week, it was a good reminder that, in the past we have had committees, and it's a way of getting more people involved and organizing the work that we're doing so that it doesn't all just fall on the chair or the vice chair, and helping us to really be more engaged. So I wanted to put in that request, and maybe the best thing to start with would just be to organize a meeting between at least the three of us.
That's really good. Thank you, Deb.
On that same idea, Deb, I mean, we have that plan that we kind of put together. Maybe we take that and go, okay, let's try and organize something here and here and here. I know we've put some, like I've worked a Pride booth, and we put that together. And so I think that would be a great idea. I know we kind of always get going on stuff, and then it just falls apart. So
Yeah,
I'd like to
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
I would like to keep it actually moving instead of going, oh, good idea, then we. So.
Right, and that way you've got some other people that are kind of like, oh, I'm taking the lead on this, and
Right.
Mhm.
And we have some new people that joined us that are probably really happy they didn't get nominated. But then, just to get other new people involved too. Sometimes I feel like our hands are kind of tied, but I feel like we need to be doing more than what we have been.
Mm-hmm. So Josh, would that be something you'd be able to do, is just help connect the three of us, or or should we just do that on our own?
No, you beat me to it. I can work to set up a meeting.
That's great, thank you.
Yep, and then we can have that meeting, and then you guys can bring it to the larger group and go from there.
So if there is no new business, I would like to welcome Alison and Jennifer to this board. And this is a board where everyone is welcomed. We are happy to see you guys. We are happy that you guys are here. And if any one of you want to say a couple words, the floor is yours.
This is part of the initiation, by the way.
Hi, everybody. I just go by Jen. I live here, obviously, in Moorhead, and I live here with my 4 kids, and I'm super excited to be a part of this commission. Looking forward to getting active in my community, and I thought this was a great way to start. So thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Saham, are we pronouncing your name correctly?
Yep, Saham.
Hopefully,
Okay.
yes.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is, Saham, Siham, however you want to pronounce it. I'm okay with it. I'm really excited to be involved in my community again. I was involved through my high school and college years, and that kind of died off. And I live in North Moorhead, way up north. And I work in human services as well as low-income properties currently. So thank you so much for having me. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions?
I have a question. Would you do stuff like fair housing?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
work in that? Okay.
I currently work in low-income housing.
Okay.
I'm part-time manage 3 properties. One isn't, but the other 2 are. So that's something I'm familiar with for sure.
We always try and like, what month is it? We don't have the plan here like I normally have.
I think April is Fair Housing Month.
April? Okay. Try and do
I
something.
think.
Any other questions? Well, that's it for tonight, and thank you, everyone. Good night and stay warm.
Thank you, guys.